It's the 17th of December 2023 and you're most welcome to the Nilecast Weekly News Roundup only on Westnile Television, where we give you the highlights of the news bulletins of the week every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name's Ukumiringa Christine. Let's dive straight into the stories that made headlines throughout the week. The Swedish government has announced the withdrawal of their support towards financing Uganda's social protection interventions amidst the overwhelming demand for international funding to boost the country's economy. Frederick Jamadri has more.
The Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, through the Swedish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, financed social protection interventions in Uganda worth $50 million, an equivalent of 185 billion Ugandan shillings, in the refugee hosting districts of Arua, Adjumani, Mariokolo, Terego, Yumpe, Moyo, and Obongi for Western region, targeting over 3 million beneficiaries. According to the Swedish embassy based in Kampala, they are no longer going to fund any social protection interventions in the country and urge the ministries, departments and agencies in the country to intervene and also finance internally the social protection interventions.
Our development cooperation strategy with Uganda ends this year, and we are not yet received a new strategy for our development cooperation.
This withdrawal of funding for Uganda's social protection by the Swedish government comes at a time the current funded projects, including NutriCars, that are implemented by World Food Programme, UNICEF and Save the Children, that targeted lactating mothers with babies below the age of 2 years, pregnant mothers and other vulnerable groupings, which commenced in the wake of the COVID-19 outbreak in the country in 2020, is closing by December 31st, 2023. According to Gustav Linkog, the Swedish Embassy Secretary for Humanitarian and Resilient Support in Uganda, the government of Uganda should be able to realign her priorities and strategize on addressing the social protection demands of the people.
So it's important that we already now start to think about exit strategy aspects of sustainability, as well as potential next steps. If we would like to continue, if we don't want to look to continue, and how future collaborations in the area of social protection could look like.
Whereas Moses Sechai, the chief of social policy in UNICEF, says the situation of social protection in Uganda is still wanting, as most of the population remains vulnerable.
And these challenges, unless we address them, will have devastating and irreversible effects on children and adolescents, and the impacts of those challenges that we have will actually transcend generations. That is why we need nothing less than transformational and systemic changes that are critical in addressing the underlying causes of children's mortality, poverty, vulnerability, gender inequality, and all the other issues that we have.
During the recent visit by the Parliamentary Committee on Social Protection, Flavia Kabayenta, the chairperson of the committee, reveals that the country is not doing well in terms of financing her own social protection interventions.
In the whole of Africa, Uganda is not doing well in financing social protection. We are only at 0.7% of the GDP in social protection, and our social protection interventions are reaching only to 6.5% of Ugandans. But they are telling you the people living in abject poverty are 39%.
World Bank puts Uganda among the lowest income countries in social protection, with the majority of the population of about 79% failing to afford the poverty line bar of 8,000 shillings per day. Frederick Jamadri, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories. The shea nut tree, which has a lifespan of about 200 to 250 years, is currently facing depletion as a result of man's activities, such as for deforestation for charcoal and firewood. To conserve the tree for generation, the Shea Nut and Natural Oil Conservation Limited is looking forward to conserving the tree through sports, organizing a shea nut tree conservation tournament, which began with arrivals of players at Midigo in Yumbe district. Take a look.
In an attempt to conserve the shea nut tree species that is currently facing extinction as a result of man's unfavorable activities such as tree cutting for charcoal, firewood and farming, among others, Shea Nut and Natural Oil Conservation Limited is holding the second edition of the Shea Nut Conservation Tournament to raise awareness among the locals. The football tournament, which started today with the arrival of the teams, will officially commence tomorrow with the opening ceremony and will run until the 19th of December 2023 as areas and teams from the Shianat catchment areas tussle it out. Ejotre Mbran, the Chief Executive Officer of Shianat and Natural Oils Conservation Limited, the organizers of the tournament, says it is aimed at ensuring the sustainability of the campaign within the areas that have the trees.
When the funding is 3 years, when that funding is over, all the gains go back to square one. So we thought, how can we approach conservation from the perspective that it can be continuously sustainable? And how we intend to achieve that is what drove us to start something like this, where we can promote the value chain right from where the shea nuts are and make the tree popular, because it is only when the people who understand the tree, who live with the tree, who collect these nuts, understand the value of the tree, that's when the tree can be safe. Otherwise, they can easily choose to cut it for charcoal.
Miraj Osman, the person in charge of the tournament, says that they opted for football since it is the easiest way to reach out the population, as they intend to extend the competition to the other sports disciplines as well.
We arrived at very many methods of how to conserve, but we all say this one is one of the easiest ways to conserve. If you want to spread the message very fast and for it to go very far, you do it through sports, involve the young people. These same young people are the ones who cut down these trees. They have a lot of energy. So if we spread the message through sports, football specifically, it will reach very far.
Similarly, Akim Sijali, the conservation officer, Shianat and Natural Oils Conservation Limited, says that the campaign is already yielding results and they're also looking forward to continuing with the campaign so as to ensure mindset change among the population.
In 2011, we had only 4 tons of nuts collected from these locations because the community was not aware of the importance of the natural source, and that might be the ultimate cause of devastation. But when we intervened in 2022, we intervened with organizing sporting event targeting the youths, as the conservation tournament has put. It is the youth who have energy to do the devastation. But when we harness that energy into showcasing that talent into sports, we are able to reach out to the message that is so important, is changing the mind of the people living there. And that action translated into collection of more nuts. As I'm talking, we have reached like 20 tons.
Midgo Town Council are the past winners of the inaugural tournament after defeating Arilo sub-county in the finals. The second edition is expected to be bigger, as 11 teams have already confirmed participation in the second edition of the tournament. The best teams will walk away with trophies, medals, and money and other gifts, as the other categories such as the best team, most valuable player, and other categories will also be awarded as well. Farish Majid, Westnile TV, NILE Sports News.
And more in our stories. Cases of people suffering from mental illness is on the rise, with most people, especially amongst the young people. The cases are mostly attributed to the drug abuse and other factors, as Nzima Allen filed the story. Take a look.
Mental disorder is a defect which affects an individual's mind physically in one way or the other, as these disorders are accelerated by different factors such as drug abuse, alcohol, and depression as well. According to statistics from the psychiatric department at Adjuman General Hospital, the rate of mental illness is alarming, as in the last 3 months of September, where 135 cases were reported, October 168 were recorded, and 153 were recorded for the month of November, totaling to 704 cases for this particular year. Bunia Alice Tako, psychiatric clinical officer at Adjuman General Hospital, says that the cases of illness among the youth is mostly attributed to substance abuse.
Most youths who come for mental health services here comes due to addiction problems, which is so rampant, but they come when they have complications, especially they are drugged by their relatives after death in psychosis, out of the drugs they have been using.
Bunia is, however, appealing to communities to engage the youth in productive activities so as to keep them busy and away from the drugs.
So my advice to the community and the youth in general is, let us engage these youth in activities. Whether to engage them in voluntary works, or we can even, the families have to make sure they give them programs so that they are not idle. Majority of them, when they come around, they say we are abusing the drugs because we don't have anything to do. And that's the only way they come to town, like looking for a job the whole day, there's no job, they end up abusing the drugs.
Asianjo Beatrice, a caretaker of a victim, however, raised the challenges of distance and lack of some drugs at the medical facility. As per the World Health Organization report in 2019, 1 in every 8 people, or 970 million people around the world, were living with a mental disorder such as anxiety and depressive disorders as the most common. Reporting for Westnile Television, Nalcast are Oraku Benson Pastore and Onzima Alan.
And more in our stories. The residents in Moyo district are excited after Uganda National Roads Authority started the Laropi Moyo roads maintenance in the district after heavy rains washed away the roads, causing poor transportation of goods and services to and from the district. Okumu Dominic has more.
The Uganda National Roads Authority started doing maintenance works on the Laropi Moyo roads and currently working on the Moyo Afoji Jale road, which was once nicknamed the Death Trap because of its poor state. Mr. Cliff Jr., one of the road users, thanked the government and UNRA for deciding to work on the road because the road had been in a very bad state.
As you can see, we are really happy for UNRA for having taken this initiative of maintaining our road. This is Molina Road, which has been in a very bad state of late. But now they have taken the initiative of maintaining it. We are really happy as the road users, and also I can testify that other road users like the Boda Boda, they are also very happy for seeing this in place. We want to take UNRA for this, and we hope this won't stop here, and all other roads will be also maintained as well.
Mr. Anyeri Joseph, a businessman along Moyo Afoji Road, said he is excited to see that UNRA are doing maintenance on the road, saying the bad state of the roads had caused a lot of accidents to the road users and therefore urge the road users to make good use of the roads.
This is the road which is leading to the main mission, Moyo Mission. It has really been in very bad shape. And today we are very happy to see UNRA maintaining the road. Other users like Boda Boda, especially the road users like the big tipper, they have really suffered a lot. The road is in a very bad shape, and especially when you take Moyo district, this has been the most horrible roads. Many accidents have happened here, especially where I am standing. Now, today they are maintaining it. We are also requesting the border borders to enjoy it responsibly. They should not overspeed, and this is the festival season. Take responsibility of your life. UNRA is doing it for you. You also do it.
Mr. Oja Albin, the district engineer, agrees to the fact that the roads have been in a very bad state, saying the district lacked funds for maintaining the roads, but is now excited that the district roads committee have agreed to spend the 1 billion shillings allocated for roads by the government. Therefore, they will begin with the bad roads before moving to other roads that are a bit fair. He, however, appealed to the road users to be mindful of other road users while on the road, since in most cases people get excited after seeing the roads are in good shape by overspeeding, which in most cases leads to accidents. He urged the road users to also exercise some calm as the district plans to work on the roads.
You know, once when the road is in good condition, instead of moving with the moderate speed, people overspeed. And once when you overspeed, it can easily lead to an accident, because you are not only the road user. There are so many road users, the pedestrians, those who are walking on foot. We have bicycle riders, we have motorcycle riders, we have light vehicles, heavy vehicles. We are all on this road. So my appeal to the public is that let's ride carefully, and as we are preparing to also try our best to put some of this road in fair or good condition, you bear with us.
For a long time, Moyo district have been grappling with poor state of roads in the district, mainly due to the heavy rains experienced in the district and lack of funds for maintaining the roads. But gradually, happiness and excitement are returning on the faces of the public after UNRWA started working on the roads. However, it is still remains unclear till when this excitement will last in the faces of the public in the district. I'm Dominic Antonio Kumu for Westnile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories. Honorable Quilchin Grace Freedom, the State Minister for Northern Uganda, flagged up the regional rollout and sensitization of 11 local governments across the West Nile region, and that generating grow opportunities and productivity for women enterprises grow project at Muni University, calling for transparency by all stakeholders and accountability in the implementation of the $217 million facility for women enterprises. Take a look.
The stakeholders in Westnile region are asking for Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to be considerate in the regional imbalances while implementing the women empowerment programs. This comes at a time Government of Uganda, through Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, is engaging stakeholders across the country on the accelerated project of women entrepreneurship, termed to be generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises growth project funded by World Bank to the tune of $217 million, which is expected to benefit women in the business across the country.
This program here, I want to relate it to the agriculture cluster program that we have. We are told that this program is competitive, and the districts we competed here in Westnile. But if you come and check the footmap of this project, you'll find that the Western Uganda has taken the lion's share. A district of Intungamo almost has stores in every village. But in West Nile here, some of the stores we requested, we competed for, up to date, has not come. We would therefore think the things of now centralizing everything must end. We must now relate these programs back to decentralization.
We are representing our rural women. And when I get a statement which was talking of Kampala, and the first stall is going to be in Kampala, I think we are as shadows.
Of always apparalization, always Kampala, Kampala. For me, I'm always against it.
Whereas Zomura Maneno, the woman member of parliament for Bongi district, implores Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development officials to increase funding for community-based services at local governments while ensuring the women entrepreneurship projects like GROW are equally distributed across the local governments in the country.
Go to home states. There are so many single mothers who are taking care of their children. They pay school fees. They have to create home for their children. They have to do each and everything that is supposed to be done by a man.
Records from Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development indicate that out of Uganda's population of about 45 million people, women comprise 51%, with girls compared to 49% of boys and men, while in the labor force, the participation rate among the women stands at 39% compared to the 53% for the men, implying that 4 out of 10 of the women in the country are employed, so far below the 6 out of 10 men who are employed in the country. The Assistant Commissioner, Labour Inspectorate, Bernard Amuriat, explains that majority of the country's women are still lagging behind on financial equality. The reason for the growth projects among employed women stands at 1,680,000 Ugandan shillings annually compared to 3 million Ugandan shillings for men, while majority of the women of 64% are being independent workers doing their personal businesses as per the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Biannual Report 2022. The State Minister for Northern Uganda, Honorable Grace Freedom Kuichin, tasked the implementers of the projects to exhibit transparency and avoid bureaucracies to bridge the financial inequalities that do exist among the women in the country.
Government will not entertain mediocre performance, unwarranted delays, and sabotage of any sort in implementation of this project. Such complications should be dealt with immediately and decisively in line with the law.
Out of the $217 million US dollars, an equivalent of 822.4 billion shillings, 40 million US dollars of these worth 151.5 billion Ugandan shillings will be utilized by the refugee hosting districts across the country to benefit both the refugees and the host communities. Frederick Tamadri, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories. In a bid to fight gender-based violence and retain mothers in school, the Mentoring and Empowerment Program for Young Women, MenProw, a non-governmental organization working in Zombo District, has equipped the child mothers in Paida sub-county with the knowledge and the hope to go back to school. Alfred Jawok has more.
During the closure of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence held at Paida sub-county headquarters today, Caroline Tiparo, the program's manager, MenProw, notes that Paida sub-county being in a remote area, many young mothers were not willing to go back to school, hence prompted them to take awareness campaign to the parents and leaders. Tiparo advises parents and guardians to take full responsibility of retaining child mothers at school as they have learned their mistakes which made them to drop out of school.
We are focusing on positive parenting because, as we all know, in this current season, the children are home, but we are also latching on the experiences from the COVID period. During the COVID period, we had very many children, very many girl children for that matter, dropping out of school. In Westnile alone, we had staggering statistics that neared 10,000 girls dropping out of school because of teenage pregnancy. And Zombo Paida in particular was a very hot spot with huge numbers. And so we zeroed down to positive parenting, so that because a child's development, the basics of a child's development starts from home. And it was very important for us to revisit what we as parents are doing to ensure that our children are brought up in strong foundations of faith, strong foundations of discipline, strong foundations of cultural understanding in relation to protection, in relation to response, and in relation to promotion of human rights. And so, as MenProw, we focused this year, and in particular on this 16 days of activism, we focused on positive parenting to try and increase advocacy, to reach different communities, the bigger Westnile network, so that we are able to drive the message home that parents should wake up, parents should do their role. It's not that they are not doing their role, but they should pump up to do more to support the children.
Gloria Piun, one of the child mothers in Paida sub-county, said they aim to go back to school and sensitize other parents to keep their child mothers in school. She further says the school dropout in Zombo district stands at 47% for primary schools, while for secondary school is at 12%. Some girls were victims of neglect of their parents who failed to play their part in nurturing them. She expressed her happiness to MEMPRO for strengthening them with the knowledge and startup kits like sewing machines, among others.
I'm a child mother. MEMPRO has given us money, which now we are going to use. We are using it for doing business. The money is helping us today. We are taking care of the money, and we are keeping the babies very well. Now, my thanks go to the MEMPRO to continue providing the spirit of protecting child mothers and the students.
William Oketwengu, chairperson Local Council 3 Paida Sub-County, asserted that MEMPRO should also put their objectives on both young boys and girls who are both victims of child marriage and teenage pregnancy in the sub-county. He noted that sub-county they have tried to sensitize people about gender-based violence, but a lot should be done at grassroots level to support the young girls.
Today is a special day for me because we as a leader, we have been advocating on the issue of gender-based violence, which is a real killer, a serial killer, which is killing development within our community. Because whenever there's no peace in society, people cannot progress. And then when this program started long way back, at least we are seeing some improvement within the community, whereby people are working together in their home, they're joining hands together, and there's no too much fighting, and we are not registering much issues about the gender-based violence. Where it's necessary, people are sitting now down, they are discussing and ironing all those issues, and people are progressing. And whenever you're working within the community, just find at least there's some peace.
The 16th day of activism against gender-based violence always starts from 25th November to 10th December, but this year's participation in Zombo district was hampered by financial constraints. Alfred Jawok, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories, the leaders of Maracha district handed over 1 big tractor and 19 handheld walking tractors to be distributed to the 19 sub-counties and town councils in the district in order to improve on agricultural commercialization. Take a look.
The technical and political leaders of Maracha district have on Tuesday, 12 December 2023, handed over 1 big tractor and 19 handheld working tractors, which will soon be distributed out to the 19 sub-counties and town councils in the district. The production officer for Maracha district, Dr. Shandia Alex, thanks the government for having a vision to alleviate poverty among the people, adding that all efforts are being put in place to see that farmers are trained on the necessary skills and knowledge on agriculture.
I would like to thank the government of Uganda for supporting Maracha district local government. There are so many areas of support. First of all, this government has got a very good vision. And the vision is very simple. In simple terms, this country wants every Ugandan to be in money economy. We have been receiving several inputs from central government through NADS or OWC, so that agricultural value chain is strengthened in Maracha district. We need the inputs to feed into production so that we can market quality inputs. I'll not go without thanking our honorable members of parliament for having lobbied for these tractors. They did not stop there. They camped at Namalere up to midnight to make sure that these tractors are transported to Maracha district local government. We did not have the funds, but they managed to hire 2 big trucks, and we are grateful. Without them, we are not going to transport these tractors.
Obituary Stephen, the chairperson LC5 Marasha district, who attributed the distribution of the tractors to fulfillment of government manifesto, described this as commercialization of agriculture by the government.
Opportunity of having converged here for an important function that has already been alluded to by the Chief Administrative Officer. I want to thank the government of Uganda for this wise thinking of really procuring these tractors to ease our work, to be able to make sure we move away from rudimentary way of struggling with the farming. You know, government is core mandate or core commitment this time around is really to see our people out of poverty. The prayer here is we should combine our efforts to see to it that by June next year we should be able to complete the 64% works in progress. If we can be able to complete that, the country will reach 80 what? 20 plus 64 is what? 84. The country will reach 84% complete with what? Implementation of the manifesto.
Honorable Driwaru Jennifer, the woman MP for Marasha District, who was the guest of honor, stated that it was in the middle of this year, 2023, when they started jointly lobbying for these tractors, dismissing rumors that identified farmers group called Cash Farmers in Tara sub-counties are to receive the big tractors, while other sub-counties receive the handheld tractors.
These tractors are being distributed according to the guideline given by Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. It was not our own guideline. That guideline came from the ministry that each sub-county be given one handheld tractor and one big tractor be given to a group identified by all of us. And this is exactly what happened. A group was identified from Tara sub-county by all the stakeholders that day, and that group is called Cash Farmers Group. There were various factors considered, and this is exactly how this group was identified, and this is how they are going to benefit.
Peace Oshaki, Osta Yusuf, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories. During the burial of Peter Tengo, the catechist of Kuba Church of Uganda, Alea Parish, Jonam Archdeaconry, Nebi Anglican Diocese, Christians have been urged to be the salt of the world by being obedient to God as the festive season draws near. The appeal was made by the ordinand Sharon during the burial prayers that took place at Kuba Village, Mukale Parish, Pakwach Sub-County, Pakwach District. Alfred Jawok has more.
The appeal was made today by Ordinand Sharon Oyenjbot during the burial of Peter Tengo, catechist Kuba Church of Uganda, Aila Parish, Jonam Archdeaconry, Nebi Anglican Diocese. Her appeal comes barely 2 weeks to Christmas, when believers prepare to welcome the birth of Jesus Christ, where people hope to have good clothes, drinks, and food, forgetting the meaning of Christmas, which is supposed to be celebrated spiritually. According to Yenbot, most believers have a tendency of celebrating the day in joy, which contradicts the will of God. She further
the president of the Black Angels Soccer Club and the vice chairperson of Westnile Boda Association. Died on the 13th.
Called upon parents to always accompany their children with an older person, so that the child cannot be overtaken by wrong people during this festive season.
Giwaki wa Mungu ketumwane kimidu baeni te kwa kadi ni masendile wangeo ni Mungu ni kani. Wangeo ni makuwa ruo, wangeo ni makuwa kwa kisa, wangeo ni asa washeke makuwa besheni ni kumungu. Entore kile magi ai kulingo bezitu kile magi wodu gi kulingo bezitu ma Mungu telu wigi kaya ikafishe kuli masendi magi kadu kuliye ne tindu maisha widi kumlende pa Mungu shalu walbene shalu nyitindu pa Mungu ni nubatini kado Mungu tini wagina ngo wiwadogu wini kumberu ma Mungu shukutimu iweni dumaeni uketumbo nenti agoni kulinyoro maniye ento sekini foyo shalu da Kristo niya wanga yomibe woti yeno ajoga maibe timuno shimarash nila keshe mupo miadude perino adegi mupo miadude perino kesh niri lebe matutuma di shokre nge ungesh perino katin polikwetu na ijoku tu shukingo wa Mungu ya Kristo Mungu washine daru nikio tibera gonya washunya kaponi dong lebe boku kidongi kuomwa mashopuke tuwa neno wanego ene Mungu mashopuke tuwa wotango atire wane shalu du Kristo edo watushi ento kawa shoku tushugigo ene Mungu nedonge gonyo wa tingi muberu beja Kristo uketi dong nindu mati kadi shalu wa juru nyoru Jumanga di goni awiyani di kungineno ngalo ponju gidongo la ropogi kai weshule de matira ni nyatino lo kule keturani du matini tidu mwagi benyotre kumwaga churu nyoru de dongo washushalu Mungu washukumae nyado tingi mubero peli.
Peter Tengo was the founder of Koba Church of Uganda in 1978 and served in different churches before his demise on 7th December this year at Pakwachal Center 4, and he was laid today at his ancestral home, Koba Village, Mukale Parish, Pakwai Koba Church of Uganda in 1978 and served in different churches before his demise on 7th December this year at Pakwachal Center 4, and he was laid today at his ancestral home, Koba Village, Mukale Parish, Pakwai Sub-County, Pakwach District. Alfred Jawok, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories. Boda fraternity, football lovers and the business communities of Zombo District paid their last respects to the late Rasul Oriem, the chairperson of Pada Black Angel, the chairperson of the Boda Association, who doubles as the former president of Pada Black Angel Soccer Club and the vice chairperson of the Westnile Boda Association, who died on the 13th of December 2023. Take a look.
He made the appeal this afternoon during the burial of Rasul Oriem, former president by the Black Angel Sports Club, chairperson by the Boda Association at Shana Parish by the sub-county in Zombo District. According to the check, Alur culture allows their tongues to bite each other, which causes chaos in society.
Nijo sahaba man yaghmanuni ma baina lihyaihi wa ma baina rijlaihi aghmanu lahu aljanna. Yakona Muhammad ni washu ni juru lopare nyangati mabishungu pilikuoko jimutie ikimdoge likiyani kimlembe mambo na jimutie ikimsheke jaspe yale watu kali mishungu pilikuoko pingeni ana mishungu iri miniro igerni bolu ya mishungu wiri ami faiti ni wiri umakimondi gerni bolu be pingani wa majakwa na wishie beno lep umonero kama yumo kushila wakuoye pima tuoma ketu jumarwa pima tuoma ketu jukenwa pima tuoma ketu danu to shoru benu kagoi kumwa pima tuoma ketu danu to kinenwa iwangi kubalu pima tuoma ketu danu kalimanyi nenwa maloyo lepwa upe just lepwa kawabi guapo tigo biro ai wa biro ikura soli paida pande yomire kan te pande ire ayaro gofo na wingi mane on paswa nya rasul edite tuki edite paswa pagi Tumi warwa poi muyiyu nidi kurukurwa mumbete luton mangie kana warasule mkwa ipane yumine jumajuge ipane yumiki tole nutie baba nyunyu tukapagi katuki pileji magi kwa kudekutano mareshu.
Meanwhile, Agri Udong, the chairperson by the business community, warned community members against polygamy and appealed to the widows left behind to be united. Odong added that Rasul Oriem lived his life honorably and appealed to the mourners to emulate his good deeds and legacy he left behind.
Imitu an ato ini para ne ya be imitu kori. Imitu in ato ini poto para ya imitu kori. Imitu in ato ini poto kare para ya wale ya wakudi. Sawadi. 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 Ma an Allah kato awe pijo iri lo gidong kuda donga mape. Fire ne kamone. Ini kan ada to. Owe kilo to ekipe membe ke kuni kuda ngo. Masa de mone ko bene sheke ite de tie. Sa moto shi ite de winywe. Dongamira yernia ya. Tana mabuchi sheke marasha keni. Obotimra kesa de koka keni.
In the meantime, Gabriel Okumu, Okoro County Member of Parliament, who was the chief mourner, described the late Rasul Oriem as a committed businessman who depended on the truth.
Dr. Makesha Joashunia, kapi mito choko, kama Dr. Zutieye, Karashiel, Ele, specialists, Wilar Mulago. Piramu specialists, majubi ay Mulago, esha mwapi bedo kadungi keni. Jomiwari faro, wakiti Mulago, nwa wakaro timonetu wako, Dr. Madongo Dongo esa shieke, wawinjere kogi, jomiwa admission Mulago, then they will come. On Monday, one ambulance, utero the late Mulago. Jukuongo tioko de eni, a metaphor our daughter de Jennifer. Ewa honorable. It's our beach opinion or sabushie. Kidiyum abicha kogukeno. Utie doctors majubi kongo tiokune eni. Actually, samutush Mulago kongo tiokune mabere. On Monday on Tuesday no asi the audiat. Sama doctors jonena shungu kuma kono jonena ning atmatu mushungure. Doctors majube do machine matung tung ward ma echamondo parenta isawa tap any.
Rasul Oriem had an illustrious business career, and at the time of his death on 12th December this year, he was born on 11th February 1981 and is survived by widows and 7 children. Alfred Jawok, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
And that viewer marks the end of the Nilecast only on Westnile Television. Thank you, viewers, for always being with us from the beginning of the Nilecast to the end of the Nilecast only on Westnile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name's Okumuringa Christine. Have a good evening.